How is it going, everybody? My name is DeMarco, and we have some news about upcoming news to talk about. Yeah, it's a small little thing, but I do think it's worth bringing up because a while back I made a video, or my last video, I talked about how I firmly believe that Starfield is going to release on time, that it's not going to experience a second delay, and B, I think that there's a very strong possibility. In fact, I would be more surprised if Starfield did not show up at the Game Awards than if it did. I really think that Starfield and Bethesda is going to take advantage of the audience that tunes into the Game Awards for new news and reveals in order to promote Starfield, especially because it's Microsoft's, not just Bethesda's, but it's Microsoft's most important title of 2023. They've made that perfectly clear so far. And today, we actually have some new information coming from senior community Jess Finster, which talks about new details coming soon, and it might allude to a possible Game Awards appearance if you want to go down that speculation route. So we're going to talk about what we know, then we're going to get into some fun speculation territory, but for now, here is exactly what Jess had to say. So this was posted originally on the Bethesda official Discord. Jessica Finster said, "Hey everyone, thank you so much for keeping questions coming. We're excited to see what you're most interested in. Over the next few days, we'd like to try playing around with this channel to see if we can better consolidate your questions. As CVH mentioned previously, we received enough questions for the next installment, but in the meantime, this will be a general question spot until we experiment with some other Discord features. I'll welcome feedback as we try things out. Thanks for everything so far." So really not much here, but I do appreciate the transparency that's coming from Bethesda, something I do genuinely believe, I think most people will agree, we need more of in the gaming industry. This simple news announcement to just say, hey, we have more news coming is sometimes all it takes to get fans excited, to get geeks like me talking about the game. And it's been a content drought for Starfield. I'm absolutely understanding that, yes, we really desperately want to see more about this game. I want to see more about this game. We got a Q&A video that realistically, it showed what? The dialogue system and not any real substantial new footage, which is what we really are looking for. So it could be a bit underwhelming for a lot of us. And admittedly, some folks in the community do need to exert a bit more patience. People were really quick to jump on the fact of a potential Starfield delay, despite any actual evidence or any signals from Bethesda that might be the case, because there's been some silence, which is very in character for Bethesda in the first place. But I digress. This level of transparency, I hope Bethesda continues with. I hope they share more insights. Things like when BioWare said that Dragon Age is entering into alpha status. Like, that is a small thing, but it's nice to know the progress that these titles are making, even if you don't have a substantial, massive news drop to share. However, now to get onto the specifics of this post, complete tangent there, we definitively know one thing, which is pretty exciting, and it alludes to the possible appearance of Starfield at the Game Awards, which we're going to get into speculation territory next. But first off, the next Q&A video is coming. We don't know exactly when, no date was given, and really, to be honest, it's kind of hard to predict it from just this statement alone. I do think that by the end of November is a pretty safe bet. Sounds reasonable to me, although the holidays might throw things off a bit. Who's to say? End of November, by the end of November, seems pretty safe. Although, again, maybe they've just picked out the questions. They just know the questions they're going to address. That's it. Maybe they actually have the whole video done. They're just waiting to release it. There's a whole spectrum of in between of where the next Q&A video can be. I will say I am genuinely really happy that they're addressing quests. I think there's a lot of good questions that fans are going to be wondering about this particular subject. For me personally, it's the Radiant quest system. We've seen Bethesda sort of iterate and repeat how they're going to really rely more on procedural generation with their games. The Radiant quest system is one such procedural system that they've utilized, and especially when you're talking about a game as open as Starfield that can branch off all the way to 1,000 different planets, how is Bethesda going to tackle it with some of the miscellaneous tasks and quests that we pick up along the way?
Oh, goodness. Oh, yeah, right, that quest. Can you, brave adventurer, please find for me 57 Yellow flowers in Schmagenrog.
Sorry, what's this?
Is it going to send us to a star system that's far out of our reach that we can't actually get to because we don't have the grav jump distance to do so because it's just procedurally generated? Or are we going to get to a planet that's way above our level that we can't possibly fight against the creatures that are there, but the Radiant Quest system is sending us there anyway, and we have to wait 4, 5, 6, 7 levels until we're possibly going to be ready to deal with the threats that are on that planet? People might also be wondering how the side faction quests might impact the main quest line. Is it going to be more like Fallout 4, where there's some intertwined nature going on there? Or is it going to be more like Skyrim, where everything's kind of independent? Curious to know about that one. And of course, I do think that Bethesda maybe can sneak in some choice and consequence because it does tie to quests. One of the most exciting things I'm looking forward to is Bethesda really leaning into consequences of decisions that you make, so the world actually feels reactive to what you're doing. And I'm curious to see, that could be its own separate video topic, but I do also see the potential to insert it here, so we'll find out. Point being, there's a lot of interesting subjects for Bethesda to address. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get to dive into that sweet speculation territory as we talk about whether or not my video is going to age well, the last video that I made talking about the Game Awards, because definitely, I don't, maybe opinions are starting to shift, but at the time, not seemingly the popular opinion for what I was saying. And my comment section agrees with me, but it seems like a lot of other places on the internet did not, about Bethesda and Starfield's potential appearance at the Game Awards. And I will say right off the bat that I think this is one of the most perfect opportunities for Bethesda to really have a stellar Starfield showcase during the Game Awards. What better way to talk about your game than by addressing the things that fans are actually wanting to hear more about? And even if you have just a 2 to 3 minute trailer, Bethesda could easily, let's say you're curious about, I don't know, the armor system, right? Is it going to be more like Fallout 4 or more like Skyrim? And while I personally think it's going to lean more into the Fallout 4 side of things, how, if that is the case, how are they differentiating it from Fallout 4 to make it feel like its own thing? That's an important question, and they can easily show that if you just do play it at a 2x speed montage of the character equipping and unequipping different armor sets. Super simple way to get a pretty decent amount of information across to a geek like myself to then ramble about it on YouTube in just a couple seconds. Maybe people are wondering about the dungeons. We've seen a lot of the overworlds and we've seen a lot of those big, vast, empty landscapes, but what about the dungeons? In Skyrim, you have the Nordic ruins, the Dwemer ruins, the dark underground cities like Blackreach to explore. You have so many different variations in the biomes and dungeon types that you can go into. What might we see of Starfield? And you can show off some of that during your 2-minute gameplay trailer. That's exciting stuff. There's an argument to be made about Bethesda possibly using this time to fuel the type of stuff that they're going to use during a trailer at the Game Awards. And I think that Bethesda can very easily turn what might be an average 2-minute, pretty generic gameplay trailer into something stellar that gives us fans and us nerds a lot to talk about and speculate about regarding the game, and it gives everybody else a really deep, novel, intriguing look into aspects of Starfield that people want to know more about. So it's a very strong opportunity that I don't think Bethesda is going to want to miss, and I highly recommend you check out my last video on the subject if you haven't already. Love the transparency from Bethesda that something is on the way, that something's coming. Please, Bethesda, keep that up. Continue to do that with your community managers team. That's kind of what I assume that there should be here for in some capacity. Would love to see more of it. Definitively getting another Q&A video, hopefully by the end of this month, although we'll see if that happens. But it has been 4 weeks since the last one, so it's about time. And maybe, if we want to go there, this means that they're preparing what they want to talk about during the Game Awards, and I'm looking forward to seeing how much of that is true. Let me know your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree with me down in the comments section below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, I hope to see you all next time. So long, everybody.